Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and you may have noticed, or if you're anything like me, you didn't notice until somebody said it, John Scarce is missing. Like, for real, I don't think I've even heard a legit rumor that he is somewhere and quit YouTube. Like, he's gone. Like, for all we know, aliens kidnapped him, or Keemstar, one of the two probably. I mean, I'm not saying Keemstar isn't an alien, but I am saying that John Scarce is missing. Well, somebody's got to step up to fill his shoes, and I think we all know it's not Keemstar. Now, why that piece of human garbage is still allowed to be on YouTube after being banned for being a psychotic, racist, homophobic, crazy person? Oh, well, allegedly there's a loophole because somebody else owns his channel and he's just on it. Right, everything's cool. That doesn't totally just disgrace the entire website by still having him exist. Yeah, definitely not. Anyway, mini Keemstar rant over with. That's it, I'm launching it, the Desolator News Network. Oh crap, I need like a motto or something that like I could say at the opening of every show. Let's say, welcome and much love, Desolator News Network here. That one sounds good. And here on the Desolator News Network, we only cover the news that matters. We're talking in the scope of YouTube and its wonderful viewers. And honestly, I don't think that for this one I'll even have to leave my home state of Wisconsin, because there's some great Wisconsin news that happened very recently. And, of course, if you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly where this is going. So on the east side of Wisconsin, there's this lovely place called Manitowoc. Yeah, pretty much everywhere in Wisconsin is named after some weird, like, Native American tribe or name or something. I'm actually starting to wonder if the Native Americans that live in Wisconsin are just messing with us and they're just making up words that sound weird, like Ashwaubenon. By the way, that's where Lambeau Field actually is. It's not actually in Green Bay. Well, I heard about a lovely story coming out of Manitowoc today, and honestly, I'm not that surprised. I mean, if you blanked out the city, I probably would have actually guessed Marshfield. But, I mean, this is kind of a Manitowoc thing, too. So this happened on 9:30 at night on Friday, because, of course, it happened on Friday night. When else would it? Police got a call about a guy standing out in his front lawn with a knife, totally naked, yelling that he was going to, quote, gut someone. So, you know, guy's having a bit of a Friday. So when the officers arrived on the scene, he told them that it wasn't, in fact, against the law to walk around with no clothes on. Don't you love those people where they're like, well, actually, officer, it's not illegal to do this. And they, like, suddenly they got their law degree and they don't know what the heck they're talking about. Yeah, that's this guy. Like, a person could get pulled over for going, like, 100 miles an hour. They'd be like, well, but isn't that legal past 9 o'clock at night? No, you're making something up to cover for yourself. I think maybe that was going on in this case, although clearly if the guy was naked, he really wasn't trying to cover much. So they determined that he was potentially under the influence of, quote, something. I mean, I've been to Manitowoc at least once or twice, because I travel for business a lot, and, I mean, I gotta add, maybe not. I mean, some of the folks I met there, you gotta wonder. Might be something in the water, but that kind of would be under the influence of something. You know, mercury and lead, you know. I'm just saying it's a theory. So somehow they found out that he had a warrant out for his arrest, which is weird because I feel like he probably wasn't carrying an ID. There's actually a lot in this story that doesn't really match up with the nudity part. I mean, if you're very clearly not carrying an ID, don't tell the cops your first and last name. Little pro tip there for you. So they cuffed him and tried to put some pants on him, and as soon as they tried to put him in the back of the police car, he decided to kick one of the officers in the face. I would not recommend doing that. And out comes the taser. Now this is where it gets weird. You guys heard about that guy at that baseball game where he was like super drunk? They tased him and it had absolutely no effect. And they're like, oh my God, the drunks are adapting. They're like mutant zombies and they're adapting to our taser technology. How are we going to stop them? Well, I mean, cut off the sale of alcohol. I mean, they'll leave. Yeah, so guess what? The first attempt to tase him did not work. Neither did the second attempt, okay? I feel like it maybe didn't get caught on his jacket because he was naked. I mean, how bad of aim do you have to miss somebody that's sort of sitting down in the back of a police car, kind of, and not wearing anything? I mean, they didn't say he wasn't a little person, which would at least half the target area, but I don't think they said it either. I feel like that would have come up. That would have actually probably been the headline. You guys are going to get triggered if I say what I thought the headline would be. So then somehow he pulled out a lighter, which, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of pockets, so I don't quite get that. Must have been in his hand the whole time. Kind of weird to let somebody in a police car with a lighter in their hand. You know, in case they light the police car on fire. So strike one, you can't hit him with the taser accurately. Strike two, you let him in the car with a lighter. Let's see if they can go for strike three. Oh, sorry guys, but I already know what happens. What happened next was described by police as a, quote, flame burst. I mean, the sources I read weren't particularly clear, but it sounds like one of the taser probes hit the lighter, and it's one of those stupid cheapy, like, acrylic ones where if you drop it from about 2 feet, it'll just blow up. You know, the type where you put a sparkler on the ground and then spike the lighter and it's a giant fireball for July 4th. Don't do that. Do not try that at home. That was simply merely an example. So apparently it singed off a whole bunch of his facial and chest hair, but he was not seriously burned. I also know from experience that if you get way too close to a butane lighter exploding, it really only singes your hair. Now, if you build a 17-pound smoke device made out of potassium nitrate, pyrotechnics grade, used to sell it on eBay, and then put it on YouTube, I mean, that's a little bit different caliber. I got a little singed off of that one. It was like a wall of flame. It was like skydiving into the first ring of hell. Yes, it is on my channel. Type in 17-pound smoke bomb. That had like 300,000 views like 4 years ago. So the detective in charge of the case said that, you know, if only one of the taser prongs hits a person, it's less effective than it could be. Yeah, not at all. It's not a complete circuit, you idiot. There's no, what is it going to hit the ground? The gun isn't grounded. I don't think these police know how tasers work. I don't think they know how electricity works, but then again, Manitowoc. So one of the reports, I guess inaccurately said that he somehow also had a folding knife on him. Where though? It turns out it was actually on his porch, which he was in front of. So slight little mistake there. So I have conflicting reports. Some of them say that it was deeply suspected that he was under the influence of something, but others have said, well, they can't really determine if he was under the influence of something. I think, you know, once again, and I cannot stress this enough, Manitowoc. If somebody's out swinging around a knife and a lighter and saying they're going to kill somebody on their front lawn wearing no clothes, you really, I mean, you got a bit of a coin flip there when it comes to, are they like just drunk or not? Yeah, are they basically just from Manitowoc then in that case? If you think I'm going hard on them, just wait till something happens in Madison. I friggin' hate those people. Most of us in Wisconsin consider it part of Illinois. Let's just put it that way. Now, just to clear up the confusion, you guys, one of the news reports stated that local ordinance do in fact bar people from walking around naked. I know that's kind of a thing in Germany, and Wisconsin is basically Germany too, but we don't really go for that around here. So the guy ended up with the good old trifecta: disorderly conduct, lewd and lascivious behavior, and resisting/battery to a police officer. Here's the fun part. They still don't know if he was under the influence, and a criminal complaint is yet to be filed. I hope he's at least in custody. It'd be a real crying shame if they had to go get him in the middle of like Main Street or whatever the hell they have over there and tase him again. Needless to say, he'd probably be nude. This is the worst reporting I've ever heard in my life. Anybody with information about the incidents are encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at, I'm not even going to give the number because I know damn well you guys would prank call the crap out of them. I'm considering it. I should call him up. I got a hot tip for you about this crazy guy that was tased naked and blew his frickin' beard off. I suspect from my professional experience that he was in fact under the influence. Hot tip for you. Take it for what you will. Anonymous tip. Now the best part, the number one best quote, just like if this was a live news report, is the quotes from nearby residents. One of the neighbors had to say, that kind of thing never happens around here. I mean, maybe. I do have another news story from just this year where a guy running down the off-ramp naked, different city though, tried to carjack somebody. Turned out he was under the influence. They actually pretty much put that in the arrest record. Didn't really wait for the toxicology to come back on that one. You know what? Don't do drugs, kids. But just think about this. This is actually pretty wild. It seems from everything I can gather that one of the two taser prongs got like a D20 roll critical hit in Dungeons & Dragons, hit him right in the lighter. I mean, those lighters are not big, and it was partially in his hand. They hit that sucker with one of the terminals, blew it up, and then was able to arc enough electricity through it to ignite the gas. That's a 1 in a million shot right there. If there's a dash cam of this, oh, holy crap, there is. Oh, I just watched the hell out of that. All I can say is link in the description. So there's really only two things I can say about this story, and the first is don't visit Manitowoc. The second is if you value your glorious, amazing beard or your chest hair, don't take whatever this guy was on. You'll end up on your front lawn naked getting tased. Oh, and a slight correction. It looks like they didn't necessarily let him in the car with a lighter, but it's not 100% clear. So remember, stay in school, kids, and if you're an adult, teach your kids to play Magic. They won't have any money for drugs. And most of all, only you can prevent beard fires by not standing on your front lawn naked with a lighter. Will this be a recurring series on my channel? I wouldn't count on it. The next time something outrageously funny happens in the news in Wisconsin, will I probably resurrect this series? Oh, you're darn tootin'. This has been Desolator for the Desolator News Network, and I will see you guys next crazy news story.